TGIF was a wildly popular block of family-friendly sitcoms in the 80s and 90s.
It's Friday night, and the mood is right. Gonna have some fun, show you how it's done, TGIF.
Featuring a smattering of hit shows, ABC had one goal with TGIF: get families to watch not just one show, but 4 shows, back-to-back every Friday night.
You got it, dude.
But there was a problem. It wasn't always the same 4 shows. TGIF featured a rotating lineup of no less than 20 different programs from year to year, and as we saw with the short-lived Getting By, which aired for a total of 2.5 months, unfamiliarity can be a show killer. So ABC faced a question: how do we keep TGIF familiar enough to retain fans, but new enough to keep it fresh? They answered this question with casting. So in addition to interstitials featuring popular characters Balky and Larry from Perfect Strangers,
Starting with Full House.
This week, Stephanie gets her nose broken right before picture day at school.
ABC often cast popular actors from one show to appear in another. Here, 10 times TGIF actors appear in another TGIF show. Number 10 goes to Jason Marsden, who appears in Step by Step as slacker J.T. Lambert's best friend, Rich Halky.
Watch a little tube.
However, this actually didn't happen until later. Marsden first appears on the show in 1993 as Doug. And the very next year, he appears on Full House as DJ's nerdy crush Nelson. And in Boy Meets World as older brother Eric's more intelligent friend named, well, Jason. Then he was rehired to Step by Step as essentially the same character as before, this time renamed Rich Halky. All that, and he still managed to voice the lead role of Max in a Goofy movie.
I can't believe I did that! Ugh.
In number 9, Bronson Pinchot plays the optimistic and naive Balky Bartokomous in the buddy-buddy sitcom Perfect Strangers. Hailing from a made-up Greek island called Mypos, Balky moves in with his more hard-nosed cousin Larry. Sort of like if SpongeBob and Squidward lived in a small apartment together in Chicago. But the show ended in 1993, and just a few years later, Pinchot came back in a recurring role in Step by Step as the silky, sexy hairdresser named
Jean-Luc Riperou.
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 Carole, Riperou. It's pronounced just the way it's spelled. R-I-E-P-Y-R-E-U-X, Riperou.
Number 8 goes to Stacey Keenan, who played the smart and snarky older sister Dana Foster on all 7 seasons of Step by Step.
When you look at your new step-siblings, do the words trailer trash spring to mind?
Well, she also appears briefly on the Disney World episode of Boy Meets World. While Corey chases the girl of his dreams, Topanga, through the park, he stumbles upon Dana by the dolphin tank, who gives Corey some Oracle-like advice and reinvigorates Corey to keep searching. Why was she there? Step by Step's Disney World episodes both filmed and aired at the same time as Boy Meets World, May of 1996. For number 7, although Perfect Strangers centers around the relationship of Larry and Balky, Jo Marie Payton plays an elevator operator named Harriet Winslow, who went on to star in her own spin-off show called Family Matters. Which you wouldn't guess, since the star of the show ended up being Steve Urkel, a character originally written to play a brief minor role but ended up being such a hit with viewers that he secured a permanent role, ironically, by accident.
Did I do that?
Number 6 features a quick one that's easy to miss from Step by Step, where actress Alexandra Adi plays Sam, a tough, smart, down-to-earth love interest for JT in the last 2 seasons. Or you could tune into Season 6, Episode 9 of Boy Meets World, where you could catch Alexandra as Audrey in a brawl with character Rachel after the stress of exams comes to a boiling point in the library.
You want a piece of me?
Number 5 goes to the ultimate 1990s TV nerd, Steve Urkel. As mentioned already, he stole the show at Family Matters as the annoying next-door neighbor of the Winslow family, and with his relentless optimism, brilliant mind for science, and penchant for destruction, Urkel made Family Matters one of TGIF's highest-rated shows and a weekly staple for 9 seasons. So it's no wonder he appears on Full House. He makes an entrance as the cousin of one of DJ's random friends, Julie, and he helps Stephanie feel more confident with her new glasses. Sticking with Full House, Candace Cameron played the wholesome, down-to-earth older sister, DJ Tanner.
Oh, my Lanta.
However, after the show ended in 1995, Cameron appears in Boy Meets World and went from that innocent, kind-hearted voice of wisdom to the robe and dark lipstick-wearing role of Millie, a spooky witch who communicates with the devil.
Lord of darkness, ruler of the anguished on All Hallows' Eve, your work will be done. but there is one who stands in the way.
Yikes. Nonetheless, the idea here seemed to be that the creepy Millie character contrasted with the nicer, more relatable witch played by Melissa Joan Hart in the show that aired directly after Boy Meets World called Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Now, furthering this theory, Sabrina appears in character at the end of that same episode as Eric's date, and her talking cat Salem opens the following episode of Boy Meets World by using his magical powers to teleport everyone to 1941.
I could never be away from you, kiddo.
Moving on, spot number 2 goes to Uncle Jesse on Full House, known for his music, his catchphrases, and his killer hair. John Stamos' charm and good looks carried him over to Season 3, Episode 22 of Step by Step, where good-hearted mother Carol has a customer named Mrs. Quinn who reveals her nephew Johnny, just in from out of town, is looking for a date to the movies. So Carol asks her daughters, Karen and Dana, who refuse, not interested in going on a blind date set up by their mom, and it turns out that blind date is...
Hi.
And to continue the shameless hot guy behind the door reveals, he also appears on Season 1, Episode 2 of Hangin' with Mr. Cooper. In this one, Uncle Jesse comes to pick up Michelle, who's being substitute taught by Mr. Cooper, and Michelle's whole first grade class also appears in the episode. And finally, the king of all crossovers, another Steve Urkel appearance, this time with an unashamedly 1990s rap and dance routine. When Step by Step first aired, it wasn't entirely clear if the series would catch on, since unlike its more wholesome counterparts, Full House and Family Matters, Step by Step featured an integrated family that often did not get along, sort of an updated take on the Brady Bunch. So ABC needed a way to jumpstart the show and boost appeal as quickly as possible. That's why in just the second episode, Steve, who fans are already familiar with and they adore, appears. Although that can maybe feel a little random, it couldn't have been more calculated in an earlier episode of Family Matters that aired the same night. Steve straps on a jetpack to try to win the heart of his dream girl Laura by defeating a high school jock at a rope climbing race in gym class, as teens do. It malfunctions at the end of the episode, and Steve blasts off from the Winslow house in Chicago over to the Lambert Foster house in Port Washington, a literal crossover. All on Friday, September 27th, 1991. And that wraps up our list of TGIF actors appearing on other TGIF shows. If there were others you thought should be on the list, leave a comment, and we hope you'll subscribe so we can catch you in the next video.